Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This video is the player trade system part 2. So in the last video, I made a window where we could trade. Let's just go through it. And that cloned itself to a surface interface, and I thought that was really cool. It was pretty cool. There's only one problem with that. The cloned object on the surface interface is only searchable by the local player. It's not searchable by the server. So if someone else comes up and sees the image and then tries to search the image, they're not able to do that. And why is that important? Well, that window that we cloned to the surface interface held all of our trade information. So if we're not able to search the trade information, then we're not able to pass the values where they need to go to on the player. So I then tried many different ways to get it to function, and it just wouldn't. I tried to clone it from the replicated storage, it wouldn't. Tried to clone it from server storage, wouldn't. So all those types of things. So what I came up with was, we have our trade window, okay? So if we place an order, you see what happened? What I am able to do is I am able to clone a user interface from the replicated storage to the player. So that then becomes our player trade window. Okay, it's really, really simple. So what does all that mean? Well, it means that what we need to do is clone, instead of cloning it to the workspace, we need to clone it to the replicated storage, and then we need to say find first child. And then we need to find the interface, TRADEZ. And then we need to say dot frame. And it should be a scrolling frame, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so this is where what we want to do is we want to take this, we'll delete that, we're going to insert object. Make sure it's a scrolling frame. Whatever, and then we can design it, and you can insert, we'll insert object. If we insert an aspect ratio constraint, that'll allow us to scale it. So we could do something like that. That'll allow it, so now it's scalable. Starting to develop these habits of inserting the right things as I build it, so that way I don't have to go back through it. That's a big thing. So you'll see a lot more of that. Hopefully it'll help. Okay, so this is the scrolling frame. Whatever, it doesn't even need a name. It could just be like this for now. There's no way to delete it, so we are going to need to add a delete button eventually. But let's just say .trades.scrolling frame. Yeah, let's just do this. Okay, and then what we can also do in the scrolling frame is we can go insert object. And then if we type in UI, we can do a list layout. And we can say sort order by name. So what we're going to do is we're going to name this. Now we can name it the player's name. So this is the problem that I was having before, is trying to connect all the dots together. And now I'm thinking this might be the way to connect all the dots together. So we name the trade, the name of the player, and then we clone it to this interface, which is inside the replicated storage. That should then be cloned back to the player, or any player for that matter. So we'll have a button, and you press the button, and it'll say get trades. And what that will do is that will clone the trade interface to the local player. And then that way you'll be able to get all the trades that are available on the server. It's the only way to do it. And then that way, because the player can send information to the replicated storage, but you can't, it's limited in what kind of information you can get back from replicated storage and where. So we do this, right? This is our trade. So we place the order, and now it should come up into here, which it didn't. So if we look at replicated storage, and then we look at trades, it's there now. So there needs to be a little more time between when it fires the get trades part of it. That's this here. So I just tell it to wait like 5 seconds. And that way, if the player is lagging or something, there's a delay. But this is why we're going to have a get trades button. So either way, it'll fire to there. Okay, so we say get trades, whatever. Yeah, and see, I have it locked into 1. You can only do 1, but we're going to be able to change that now. This is actually really exciting. And now this works because we're not allowing the players to type any text. All the variables and everything have been predetermined, so we're able to share that with the whole server, and that way it doesn't matter. There's no, information that's going to get out or words that people aren't meant to see, that sort of stuff. Oops, we don't want to go there. We want to go into the marketplace. So now what I need to do is we need to see why it's not showing up in the scrolling frame. We'll take this, put this into Starters UI, and then we will we'll copy that and paste into, right, it should be there. So what is going on? What is going on? So it's cloning it. Maybe we should wait on this side. Tell the server to wait just to see. And then the other thing the other thing I can do is I can just make a button. Okay, so it is big enough, so we are going to be able to see the order. That's what I was concerned with. Maybe the order was too big and it was off. But that is not the case. So in the marketplace, if we say visible true, and we go insert object text button, and we can just name this get trades. Okay, and we'll just do this, and we'll say get trades. All right, and now we can actually just insert a local script into here, and we can take this and put it into here. And we can take all this. Let's just take the whole thing. No, not that. We probably need all this. Yeah, and then we want to say button script.parent, and then we want to say button mouse button 1 down, connect function. And what do we want it to do? We want it to fire a server. Every time. So every time it fires a server, it will clone this interface to us. So now what we want to do is we want to make sure, so when we press that button, what it should do is it should search the player. So we want to say local UI equals, we could say script, no, what am I doing here? We could say players dot player GUI, and then I can say find first child. What is it? Trades. T-R-A-D-E-Z. And we can say if UI, then UI remove, just like that. And then that way we only have one every single time. Ooh, that's even more exciting. So then we will reset this and test it out. I've been at this for a long time, a few hours. Wow, longer, a lot longer than that. Just trying different things, trying to figure out different things, seeing how it's going to work. A lot of failed attempts, let me tell you. So we open up our except that's going to be covered when we press get trades, right? Yeah. If I say place order, it won't matter. Oh boy. So we need to have a close. We need to have a close in there. Oh boy. You know, or a refresh button or something. I don't even know. Let's see. Right now, we're still in the design phase. As in always in the design phase, it looks ugly and it's bulky and things don't line up the way they should. And then years later, we decide, hey, well, let's finish it. All right. So in here, we go insert object, text button. That can be right at the top. Say close. It could be an X. It can be whatever you want. Insert object, a local script. Tell it to wait just a second, and we will say local. Oh boy. Oh boy. LO local. Yeah. Button equals script. Dot parent. Okay. Script. Dot parent. Button. Mouse button one down. Connect function. All right, what do we want to do? We want to script.parent.parent, script.parent, parent, remove. There we go, perfect. Now when we press the close button, it'll delete the interface, and we can try and get it again and see what's going on here. Because if we're able to do that, then as players come and go from the server, they're able to place trades on the docket. And then, like, so long as they're in the game, right? When they leave the game, we'll have to add in this, going to have to search that and delete their trades, make them invalid. All right, let's see. All right, so then we can open up our marketplace tab again. Say get trades. It's waiting 5 seconds. So where is? It's there, and it says it's visible, but on us, no. Let's oops. We don't have it. Do you notice that? It doesn't show up. How odd. How odd. So that's the issue here. That's the issue I'm having with this whole trading bit. So you either have to open a window, make a window, or what? Or you have to allow the player to spawn in pre-made tokens, which are like tools that they can hold in their hand, and they can then give them to other players who can then activate them and cash them. That could be a way to do it. Then that's kind of like physical trade versus. I just figure like you're on the other side of the map and you're doing whatever and you just want to check to see what kind of resources are available to trade. So how can we connect? You see the issue here. How do we connect this dot here? I wonder why it's not cloning that either. Is it because it's really weird? Actually, it's not weird. Let's see. Now we have to see what's happening on the server side to try and understand what's going on with the server that's causing these. That's causing what's the server doing? Because if on the server side we're not able to see what I'm trying to clone into the replicated storage, then we got nothing basically. We got nothing. So if we do that, and then we'll switch over to the server, we'll go on the replicated storage and trades, and it's not there. So So what we have to then do is copy this, paste into there, and we would probably need 10 of them, so one for each player. And then when you press the buy button, we need to then send this data to the replicated storage frame. So let's see. So if we can say fire server and run it through here because it clones it, but I wonder if there's a way that we can set the values. Let's try and set the value. Let's see if we can do that. So before it does this, let's just not worry about this part right now. Let's say, let's just say RSS dot trades dot scrolling frame dot frame. Ooh, you know what? This could actually work. So we could say dot name. Let's see if we can just change the name of it. Dot name equals right here, player dot local player dot name. Let's try that. Spring, everybody's getting colds, but you know what? Schools are on strike. Kids only in school 1-2 days a week, so we're not really seeing anybody right now. So I'm not sick. Do I like it? Nope. Am I happy that I'm not sick? Yeah, that's probably the only benefit of that. So let's try this here. Let's try this here. If you are sick, I really hope you recover. Okay, so we do that, and then it should clone it, right? And now, if we look at us and we look at no, you see that? It didn't rename it. It didn't change the name at all. Though it did here in the replicated storage. Yeah, that's so weird. That's so weird. So if we can't do it, I'm guessing the only way to change those values is going to have to be from a server script. So now what we need to do is we need to transfer the values here into a server script and then transfer them from the server script into the interface in the replicated storage. Let's try and do that. I mean, we're just going from step to step to step at this point in time. So how do we do that? We need this. We need these values here. We need to copy those, and we need to go into our trade script, and we can actually just paste these values into the trade script, and we can say, so this didn't work. Okay, so we could say game. No, I don't think we'll be able to do that either. But from here, Fire server, I wonder if we can just send the let's see. If we set it up through a remote event, what's the best way to do this? Yeah, what we need to do is we need to get these values into here and then transfer them from here to there. So can we get the we can get the player from there, I think. If it was able to get it to the player GUI. So I wonder if I can say if I don't know if I can do this, because if we say player variable, then it's going to say can't blah 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 blah. Right? We need to set it up in order to be able to cast variables. But we can. Oh, you know what we can do? We could say script dot amount dot value equals PLR dot player GUI find first child champs. Let's see, dot marketplace dot frame dot amount dot value. And then we can say wait, and we can say script dot amount dot value No, let's say RSS dot trades dot scrolling frame. Let's say just dot frame dot dot amount dot value equals script. Yeah, there we go. Script dot amount dot value. Let's see if we can do that. If we're able to do that, if we're able to skip the values through in this way, and that's going to help, because then all we need to do is be able to click on the button buy, and then we can just search the local player and change the values, right? That's all we need to do. Players, find first child, this player, that player, change the values. So if we go to replicated storage, I know it's gonna trades, and we look at frame. No, it did not. But we have our frame. We have our frame there. It's just that's local. It's not on the. If we go to the server side. No, it didn't change. It didn't change that value at all. So maybe I have to reverse that. Let's reverse it. Yeah, I've had this for a little bit. I'm surprised. It's because the player can't obviously cast value to the server, so the server has to be able to search the player for the values that we want to change. But it's just trying to figure out how we want that whole system to work. Otherwise, I might have to bind a. Oh no, we say placeholder. Whoops. All right, so let's see here, and then on the server side, replicated storage, trades. No, it's I'm not see that here, so we're not able to do anything here. So it really makes it difficult. It really makes it difficult. Yeah, it didn't change it. It didn't change it there. Um, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So what do we do? What do we do? How far into this are we? 30 minutes? What do we do? So if we then allow the player to manufacture tokens, we then have to pre-value those tokens. I guess that's the only way. That's the only way to do it. So there you have it. That's kind of where we're at. I've tried many ways. Unfortunately, the marketplace just isn't going to work the way we want it to. So we'll scrap that. And I'm pretty sure that in screen buttons marketplace, we will get rid of that button. And then we don't need the trade script for now. All right, now let me just see if I create how many errors I created with that. So, like I say, the only other thing we can do is we have to allow the player then physically to collect items that they can then give, like tools that they can then give to other players. And that's the easiest thing we can do. Yeah, I don't think I created any errors with that. Doesn't seem. It seems like everything works. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what then do we want the player at this point? You pretty much just need to click a button. So what we need, what we can do now, let's get creative here. Let's get creative. So this is kind of where where a game like this was kind of based off like quasi reality, right? Where we sort of delve more into the kind of fantasy, which is why it's going to be nice to make a fantasy game next year coming up. I think that's what I'll try to do next. With random number generators and loot and all that sort of stuff, right? Just to try to. So, but anyways, we're to get into there. So what we need to do is the player then needs to just activate a part. Let's see, I don't. How do we want this to work? How do we want this to work? Right? We have to rethink now. We have to rethink the whole system. The whole system. So we want to insert an object. Let's get a surface interface. Let's insert an object. Let's get a text label. The text label size could be, I don't even know, 400. Yeah. And I can say something like activate for trade. And then insert object, proximity prompt, insert object, a script. We're not going to worry about the script right now. So now we need a object that we're going to clone. So we're going to call this points, pins, not points, okay? And we are going to insert object, a proximity prompt. We're going to insert object. Oh, do we need a local script? Let's find out here. Player. No, where's my backpack here? Oh, that's in server storage, Zoom. Where's here? Where's my flashlight? Really? Is that coming from tools? Oh my goodness. Flashlight. Oh, it is a local script. Okay, so we need a local script. All right. So let's rename this. No. Let's insert object a. Oh, I'm a little bit all over the place. I apologize. This one here we're going to name handle. And then we're going to take our part. No, we're going to take this part here and we're going to put it inside the handle. Okay, and then inside the handle, we're going to insert object a local script. Okay, cool. And we can tell this one to wait just a split second. And we want to say script dot parent dot activated or script dot parent dot equipped. Oh no, we have to turn this into a tool. Hold on. So we got to insert into the workspace. Insert object a tool. All right, and then we want to take the handle and we want to put this inside the tool. Where is the tool? There we go. Script parent dot equipped. All right, connect function. So as soon as we equip the object, what do we want to do? Well, we want to say script dot parent dot points dot proximity prompt, right? Dot enable equals true. And we can just do something like that. And then there's unequipped. We can say script parent dot unequipped connect function, and we can just do the opposite. So that way, if you don't want to use it right away, no, if you don't tell it to go to false, then I think when it's in your backpack, you'll see the prompt all the time. So we just do something like that, okay? So then when you activate the prompt, what happens? This is where we need. So this is where we need a couple of things. So the player who spawns this item, we need to insert an object. We need a string value. And this will be player name. And then we need to insert object int value, an integer. And this is going to be amount. Let's just focus on that for now. Just these two things: the player name and the amount. We'll just focus on that. So now, where's that? That's on this. That's for spawning it in. Okay. So what we need to do is we can search the local player from the tool. When you have it in your hand, we can search the local player. So what we'll do is when you equip it, we want to say script parent. No, we'll say print. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try and find print script parent name. Now we need to find out where is the tool when we equip it. So that's sort of the next step. I know we're jumping around here a little bit. Why does that matter? Because the player who spawns it in is going to lose the value, and then the player who picks it up and uses it is going to gain that value. So the easiest way to give that player that value is to search him locally and give it to him. And the easiest way for the other player to lose the value is when they spawn the object into the world, we can then search the player when they activate the spawn button, and we can then take away the value then. So that's kind of the way we connect this together. I know it kind of doesn't make sense in this type of setting, and that's why I was saying, like, if we change the type of setting here to, if they're not welded together. What is that? 7? Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect. Okay, perfect. So it says tool. Is that all it prints? No, 7. It's supposed to print Tool. Where is it on the player? Where is it on the player? Oh, I have to actually search the server. Okay, so if I go one more, we're at the player. Okay, so if we go one more, we're at the player. Once we get the player's name, we can then search the player. Game.players, find first child, name, leader stats, cash, value, plus whatever. Oh, yes, there we go. Now we have the name of the character. So now what we can do is we can say so when it's equipped, it enables the proximity prompt. And inside the proximity prompt, we can go insert object, script, and we can tell this to wait. And then we can say local button equals script dot parent. And so when we equip it, let's see, we can insert object. Let's get a string value, and let's call this local player. And we can say script dot parent dot points dot proximity prompt dot local player dot value equals this right here. And why does that matter? It probably doesn't, because we can just get the player from the proximity prompt when we activate it. So that probably doesn't really matter. So, all right, but then let's see, dot trigger instead connect function. Let's sometimes that's right. We can just do this. We can just say player who activated it. So we don't need this here, and we don't need that. So what do we want to do when you activate? We can say player dot leaders player dot leader stats dot cache dot value equals player dot leader stats dot cache dot value plus, and then now what we need to say is we need to say local values equals scripts dot parent dot parent 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 dot amount. No. Dot amount dot value plus values, right? Because when we this is going to be predetermined. This value is going to be predetermined. So these are like tokens. These are tokens that the player is going to be able to spawn in, but they're going to be tokens that are backed by the production that the player has done. So they'll either be Tech 1 tokens, Tech 2 tokens, or Tech 3 tokens, right? So they have a preset value, so they're going to cost a preset value to spawn them into the game. You'll be able to spawn these at your warehouse, and then you can meet wherever at a centralized location, and then you can trade these back and forth. And I think that's really cool, actually. So yeah, so we should then get the value. I know it won't save because we haven't connected this to the data store yet. I don't know if we can. So let's just try this for now, and then we'll go from there. So that's why sometimes when you're designing something, as I mentioned earlier in some of my other videos, that you get through it 3, 4, 5 hours into it, and then you realize, no, this isn't going to work. I have to I have to go back to square one. And sometimes it can be frustrating, but don't get frustrated by it because you're learning. Getting to where you got to realize that you failed has gained you more than by not getting there in the first place. So just think about it like that. And that's just the way it is. You know, you got there. So we have that now. And then that should be, yeah. So that gave me 1,000 to the leader stat. So now let's see if we can connect it to the data save. And if we can save it, then like I say, that's the easiest way that we can allow players. And so now players aren't duping these items because the only way to spawn the item into the game is you have to have, because it's connected to the data store, you already have to have the production in order to spawn the object into the game in the first place. So in short, taking this example, if this was a fantasy game, this is how you can allow players to trade weapons or armor or objects that they find in the game, which is something we're going to be getting into here in a few more months. We'll start designing our fantasy game, which is going to involve all that sort of stuff, and hopefully it'll explain in greater detail how all this is going to work and function. So now let's see if we can connect this to the data store. So we basically just need a script that we've already created. I like to go to the level script that I created because it's short. There, we're connected to the data store. And then so we can give, anyways, so let's see if it'll save first off. Let's see if it'll save. If it saves, then we can add all their other values to it. Like, this is really exciting. It's simple. I didn't think it'd be this simple. I had to go very complicated to realize I was doing it too complicated, and we could just make it really basic. And so now what you're doing is you're allowing players to trade their earned rewards. Oh, look, it said it saved. I could keep doing that over and over and over again, actually. So I'm not going to, right? Now we have to develop it so it doesn't do that. It should delete itself. It should destroy itself after we've activated it. So now we'll go back in and we'll see if it saved that value. This is stopped. Yeah. For how long? Who knows? It's not playing in my ear, so I'm sorry. I can't hear it. Holy cow, 48 minutes is probably for a while. It is what it is. Right? It is what it is. How can you make this stuff? I mean, this stuff is really dry, and I mean, like, there's no other way to make it exciting. I suppose we can try and make it exciting. Someone out there can make it more exciting, I'm sure. Okay, look, it actually did save. It actually did save. Cool. So now what we can do is now we can look to the value side. Let's spawn this item into the game. Let's allow the player to spawn this item into the game. So there's one or two ways we can do this. This can sit on the server, and we can just clone this. So we can call this now 1K cash. 1K cash. And we can just put this in a folder. I have two folders that I spawn tools from. So we could put this in, let's put it in the Zoom folder. All right, and then so what we can just press a button and we can, okay, so we don't need the level 1 script. We're still working on that. This is our spawn into the game script. So yeah, so now we can just press a button, spawn that into the game, or not even. Now we don't even, okay. Now we don't need this part anymore. We don't actually need the physical part. All right? And you're saying, why is that? Well, we can, from a button, clone objects directly to the player from the server storage, straight to our backpack. So we don't even need that. So the player could sit here and create it. So all we need to do now is create a window that allows the player to go through and create the tokens and then spawn it to the backpack and all that stuff. So let's see. I don't have time right now to do all that. So let's see if we can do this in a, I guess I shouldn't have gotten rid of that marketplace, but let's see, insert object, what kind? I just make it a frame, whatever. I should not have gotten rid of that marketplace. Oh boy. Insert object, UI, aspect ratio, and then I don't know, we'll make it like, we could go to 2. That would be cool. Yeah, we can go to 2. Nice. Okay. Insert object. What am I thinking with all this? This is going to be our trade. This is going to be our trade window. This is going to be our trade window. So in here, I guess we don't want it to be like a list. Let's see. If we insert object a image button. Yeah, that's how we're going to have to do this actually. So then what we need to do is we need to take pictures of the tools, and this is going to be 1K cache. And I don't know. We need an image. Let's get an image for this thing. Let's go to Google. Let's look up 1K cache icon. What images? I'd like it to say 1K if it can, but I don't know. Here, let's just take this one here. Or this one here. Whichever one won't load. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So we'll go to here, go to base, crop. That. Drop it. File. Save as. Something like that. JPEG. Save it. And then let's see here. Add image, choose file. Should be pretty easy to spot. Big green $sign. Where are we? Our champs? There it is. Create. Yeah. And then when you mouse over it, we'll have to put text on there, and it'll be like, I don't even know what size is it here. Oh yeah. 1. Okay. We'll do this. File, save as. Super creative, I know. It's all right. I hope you're taking notes about how super creative I am. So you can press the image. Where's our hover mouse? Enter. Selectable object. Oh, I don't want that. Where is it here? Interactable layout. Hover image. Haha. Add image. File. Yeah, there it is. Perfect. Create. Give that like 10 seconds. Okay, so then what we're going to do is when we press this button, we can go insert object a local script. We can tell it to wait. And we can say button equals script dot parent button dot mouse click whatever connect function. Just trying to wrap this up because I know we're basically at our at our limits here. So what do we want to do? We want to say game dot surface storage dot zoom find first child. What are we looking for here? Oh yeah, 1K cache. 1K cache. And then we want to say, oh boy, local object equals, all right, so we want to say object dot parent equals no, equals what? Script dot parent. Well, I should be able to get the player. Equals player dot backpack. Should be able to do that. Player dot backpack. It's probably going to give me an error, I'm sure. All right, let's try that. Basically, the gist of it. Oh, I should have cloned it. I don't know if I should have cloned it. That's right. I cloned it instead. So right now it costs nothing, right? But when the player clicks on the button, you can then search the player. Zoom is not a valid member of server storage. Now, the only way to do this, regrettably, so we can't do that. We cannot do that unless we say fire server. Okay, so I shouldn't have deleted the trade script. We still have the remote event. So in our, here we need to insert object, a script. We can tell this one doesn't have to wait. We can say event, local event equals, oh yeah, no, we need local RSS equals game, get service replicated storage, event equals RSS find first child trade. All right, so then we need to say event on server event. All right, connect function. And we want to say, now we need the event here. Local event equals game dot replicate storage dot trade. So we'll get rid of this and we'll say event fire server, which we can do from the client, and then on server event PLR. You want to say game.serverstorage.zoom find first child 1K cache. Let's see if object then object dot parent, no, object clone dot parent equals player dot backpack. There we go. Let's try that. Yeah, so I mean, it takes, obviously, we were 30 minutes into it, and then I said, oh man, we need to rethink it. This is the easiest way, I think, to go about it. And then that way, when you click on here, we can get the values from the local player who clicks on it, right? And that's what it's going to cost. So then if we do that, oh yeah, there it is. There's our 1K cash. Look at that. Oh, and then I activate it. Yeah, I get my 1K cash. Yeah. now leave the game, go back in, see if it's safe. And that is going to do it for today's video. In the next video, part 3, we will finish setting the values on the buy side, and then we will set up the token so that way it deletes itself after it's consumed. And that is what I think is the best way to do trade. Yeah. Because then you have the token, and then you can go around to other players, and you can just give that to them. It's perfect. So now, because we can, oh yeah, look, it did save. So because we can give that to the local player, what we can also do is set up the values now on the object, because we need the player name, right? We need both players' names. So now if we go into the object, let's try this really quickly, and then this will be the end of this video. I just want to see if this is the path that we want. Oh yeah, because when it equips it, let's see. We should say object. Let's see. Was it dot handle? Dot handle. Dot player name equals PLR. Ooh, we could try that. We could try that. Because when we go to consume it, which we haven't quite finished yet, right? All we've done is give cash. When we go to consume it, what we need to do is we need to say players equals, we need to say game get service players. And what we want to do is we need to search for both players. So this can be PLR, and we can say PLR dot we can say find first child, actually. Find first child script. Let's see, script parent 1 2 3 dot player name dot value. And then we would have to say, no, I don't think so. I think we might have to make another local for that. Yeah, we'll have to do this. And then in here, we need to say names dot leader stats. Equals We'll just do that for now, and then let's see if it can find me and subtract 1,000. Right now we're back to trying to pass the values through to the object. If we can pass the right values through to the object, we can then trade the objects and give away the values. I mean, yeah, we can handle that. I suppose we could just handle that in here, actually. Let's see. Yeah, see. So we're not going to be able to do that, unfortunately. Okay. So there you have it. There you have it. We've tried every way from Sunday, and unfortunately, the only way to make this work, as you saw, oh, you know what? I could make this dot name actually. Whoops. But anyways, I was trying to think why did that matter? Because when we create the token, we lose the value, and then when the other person consumes the token, they instantly gain the value. Yeah, so that's why we don't actually need this part. I guess I'm just getting a little complicated here in thinking that at the same time we could try and do different things. But I think I'm just getting a little too complicated with this and just try and keep it simple. So we'll get that. Oh yeah, no, I'm making this too complicated. So there you go. There you have the basic idea. When the player creates the item, quote unquote, here, when they press the button, that is when they're going to lose the values and it'll save. Oh no, we can't connect to the data store from here. Here on the server script. Oh, where are we here? Where are we here? Show and explore. That's that script there. So we're going to get rid of this. Oh my goodness. Get rid of that. Okay. Where is our trade script? There it is. On this script here, this is where the item is created. So where the item is created is where we need to cast the values while we create the item. So yeah, so I know I apologize, it's a bit of a long one. I guess what I wanted to get with all this too is that like if you had like a crafting bench, like we're gonna get into that a little bit and we're gonna expand on this idea and you can add data saves and all sort of stuff to it. But here's where we do that. So we connect to the data store. Now what we need to do is we need to say, okay, so on server event, the player, this obviously isn't working. It's just gonna clone it to my backpack. So, but at the same time, I also need to lose the values. So we're going to lose cash. So we need to say player.leader stats, LEAD, leader stats dot cash dot value equals PLR dot. Oops. Use stats dot cash dot value minus 1,000. So we just try and see if that'll work. When we press the button, we lose money. So there's a few safety checks that we have to do. We'll put some safety checks on the button, and because the button can search the player. So the button will say, does the player have enough cash to make this transaction? Does the player have the items to make the transaction before they're even able to press it? And then after they press the button, yeah, look at that. I lost 1,000 cash. Perfect. So that's how we're going to have to connect all that together. So in the next video, in part 3, we will finish the trade system, meaning we need to lock the button down. So here we just press the button and it fires a server. What we need to do is we need to search the player for the values. In this case, the values that we want to trade. We want to say if they have the values, then let them do it. If they don't have the values, then they can't do it. As simple as that. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.